The Dead Don't Hurt is a Western film directed by Viggo Mortensen. He also writes this film and produces it and stars in it. He plays Olsen, a Danish immigrant who's living in America, and he falls for a widow, the beautiful French Vivienne, who's being pursued by a stuffy Irish guy. And the two of them, she moves in with him in Nevada and takes over the homestead and to build a garden and things like that. She sells flowers, and he's, I guess, I don't really know what he does. He used to be a soldier. However, he wants to fight again for the Civil War when they come by. And she's very distraught at this idea because she already lost her husband in a previous battle. So the two of them are fighting. However, he decides to leave anyway. It's something he has to do. And while he's off fighting in the Civil War, she gets harassed by a local businessman. He's corrupt, his violent younger son, and then there's also the corrupt mayor. So all of them are essentially in on a plot together to screw over people, and there's a really violent opening, which I thought, you know, the movie would be like that, but that's sort of just a sort of hook to get you in. This movie's more of a modern day romance with a Western backdrop. There's lots of yearning, there's a lot of waiting, writing letters, slow burn romance with a little bit of this and that. It's definitely not a shoot 'em up. At the beginning of the film sort of sets that up, but then you don't really get that. And this movie, you know, I guess it does have that sort of heroic, sort of wavering, unkind Western sort of vibe, but I felt it was too slow. Lots of terrible things happen in the middle of the film as she's trying to fight off these three, and I thought it'd be something simple like they want her land or something, but they don't. And it tries to add a sort of modern day feminist slant to it. I didn't care about that. The movie was just really slow and boring. And years pass, and then you're waiting. Finally, Olsen returns, and he has to deal with the aftermath of what happened while he was gone. And the movie's just okay, honestly. I mean, there's a lot of parts of this movie that are not shown on screen, obviously because of the budget. But we don't get to see, you know, Olsen at war. We don't get to see the villain do stuff that's mentioned in a couple of sequences, but they don't show it. So there's a lot of telling, and obviously there's budget limitations, but also, you know, action bits are now cut off because of the budget. So this should have been a bit less stretched out and a little bit more intimate, I feel. Instead, a lot of characters are not sharing the screen at one time, so it ends up being kind of boring. And overall, you know, I love Viggo Mortensen, honestly, not just Lord of the Rings, but he's a fantastic actor who's really good in a lot of things, like Captain Fantastic and Hidalgo and Appaloosa. And, you know, I'll watch him in anything, but this feels like a little bit indulgent, to be honest. It felt really like he didn't like make the movie so he could just, you know, be with the main actress and hang out with her. He likes this. He wrote the movie. He pretty much put this entire film into being. So obviously this was a big passion project for him, but I didn't like it. So I give The Dead Don't Hurt a 2 out of 10.